Hello there, how are you doing? Well, you may remember I made a video last week about the inequalities between gay immigration and heterosexual immigration with regard to gay people bringing in their same-sex partners and heterosexual people bringing in their opposite-sex partners. Well, there are three main categories where gay people can bring in their same-sex partners for immigration. The first is the interdependent category. Now, an interdependent visa is for an Australian citizen, a New Zealand citizen in Australia, and a permanent resident in Australia to bring in their same-sex partner if that person isn't one of the above. The other visa is a 457 sponsorship visa. Now, there's been a third visa category that was brought in September 2007. In 2006, Amanda Vanstone, one of the ministers in the Howard government, promised they would look at the issue of gay immigration with regard to skilled migration and student visas as well as other visas. Well, so far we haven't got a student visa for gay migration, but we do have the general skilled migration visa on which gay people can apply to bring their same-sex partners to Australia on that visa. That came out in September 2007. There are, however, still many inequalities, and I'm going to show you a few of them. First of all, though, we need to define a few terms that is used in the immigration process. Now, here is the website of the Australian Immigration Department. Okay, now the two main terms you will hear me mention are spouse and interdependent. Here are the definitions according to the Australian government website. A spouse is the person that you live with as husband or wife. This relationship may be a legal marriage or a de facto common law relationship which involves members of the opposite sex. Now, the other main term you'll hear me use is interdependent partner. An interdependent partner is a same-sex partner with whom you have had a mutual commitment to a shared life to the exclusion of all others. The relationship between you and your partner must be genuine and continuing, and you must live together or not live separately and apart on a permanent basis. Let's take a look at the student visa to begin with. Now, you can bring your family members to Australia. Now, family members include your spouse and you and your spouse's dependent children. Your spouse is the person you are married to or in a de facto relationship with. A de facto relationship applies if you have been living with a person of the opposite sex for at least 12 months and you have a genuine and exclusive relationship with them. Now, it emphasizes the fact it's a member of the opposite sex. Therefore, if you are gay and going out with somebody of the same sex, you cannot bring your partner there. There you go. On the website, blatant discrimination against people based on their sexuality. Another visa category where there is an inequality and clear discrimination is the employer nomination scheme. Subclass 121856. Let's look at the family member eligibility. Let's quickly scroll down. The following people may apply to a company and stay with the employee: the employee's spouse, dependent child of the employee or employee's spouse, and other dependent relatives living with the employee. Now, as I showed you earlier, a spouse only refers to a partner of the opposite sex. A same-sex partner is an interdependent partner. So on this employer nomination scheme visa, there is clear discrimination, as a heterosexual can bring their opposite sex partner, but a gay person cannot bring their same-sex partner on this visa. Let's take a look at the business owner resident subclass 890 visa. And who can you bring? Once again, bringing family. The following people may be included in your application: your spouse, your or your spouse's dependent children, other dependent relatives living with you. Now, as I said again, a spouse refers to a partner of the opposite sex, not your same-sex partner. So while you're on a business visa, apart from a 457 visa, any other business visa, you can bring your opposite sex partner, but not your same-sex partner. Let's take a look at another visa where there is discrimination. The business talent migrant subclass 132 visa. Who can you bring? Well, surprise, surprise, the following people may be included in your application: your spouse, your or your spouse's dependent children, other dependent relatives living with you. Now, as if you need me to tell you about the discrimination once again, that you cannot bring your same-sex partner, but you can bring your opposite sex partner. And another visa, the Investor Residence Subclass 891 visa. Who can you bring? The following people may be included in your application: your spouse, your or your spouse's dependent children, other dependent relatives living with you. Once again, you cannot bring your same-sex partner, but you can your opposite-sex partner. In fact, on the other visas, you cannot bring your same-sex partner either. They include the State Territory Sponsored Business Owner Residence Visa, the Established Business in Australia Visa, the Regional Established Business in Australia Visa, or the Investor Visa, which we just looked at, or the State Territory Sponsored Investor Residence Visa. So in fact, all the business visas you cannot bring your same-sex partners on. A lot of inequality and discrimination there, which really should change. And another visa where there is clear discrimination between bringing out your same-sex partner and opposite-sex partner is the Investor Retirement Visa. That's if you want to retire to Australia and make a financial settlement. You can spend some of your retirement years here. So let us look at who can come on this visa. Well, once again, surprise, surprise, the family. Your application may include your spouse and only your spouse. In other words, not your interdependent partner, but your spouse who is a member of the opposite sex. I repeat, your application may only include your spouse. Finally, good measure, because I love a bit of entertainment, let's look at the Entertainment Visa Subclass 420. Who can come out on that visa? Well, let's take a look. Let's scroll down the page, the famous page of the brilliant website. Bringing your family. The following people may be included in your application: your spouse, you or your spouse's dependent children, and other dependent relatives. Funny that, your spouse is mentioned, but not your interdependent partner. So we've just seen a whole lot of visa options, and only 3 exist on which you can bring your same-sex partners. So whilst I congratulate, accept and recognise that John Howard and now Kevin Rudd have both brought in legislation giving gay people and their partners more rights and equalising many of the rights with those of heterosexuals, there is still clearly a way to go, because while there is any inequality, there will never be full equality. While there is never full equality, there is in many ways no equality. You know, all people are asking is not special treatment, just the same rights as heterosexuals and their opposite sex partners. That is all. People being treated equally across the board. Because at the end of the day, Australia benefits by allowing immigrants into the country with their same-sex partners. You are bringing in people who have got money, people who are going to invest in this country, people who are going to set up businesses, people who are going to train if they're students as doctors, nurses, hairdressers, mechanics, plumbers, in all great professions, electricians. All these people are bringing money with them. All these people are bringing potential, and all of it goes to making Australia a stronger country. It is common sense to bring in equality, and equality across the board, because at the end of the day, it is Australia that benefits. It is sadly up to the immigrants and prospective migrants to tell the Australian people of the current situation, because naturally many Australians do not know their immigration rules. Why should they? They haven't had to move to Australia. But it is important that us migrants tell Australians the situation, because ultimately it is the Australian people and Australian politicians who will change the laws. So I urge you, Mr. Kevin Rudd, please think about the laws. You're bringing in some excellent laws next year regarding gay pension rights, etc. Let's bring in equality across the board for immigration rights. Not just the 457 visa, which we already have, not just the interdependent visa, and not just the recent visa, the general skilled migration visa that John Howard and his government introduced last year. Let it be on all the visas, including the business visas, the retirement visas and student visas, as well as entertainment visas. Australia has everything to gain and nothing to lose. Let's be a beacon and show the world that Australia has moved into the 21st century. I love this country. And that would be the icing on the cake if everybody here could be equal under the law. That's all. Equality. Nothing special, just equality. Thanks for watching.